They're putting all the little bookstores out of business. That's true. I'm not happy with it, but I'm also greedy. If Amazon's going to sell 80% of the books, do I get a piece of a little pie over here at 20%, or do I get a piece of that 80% pie? I'm going to get in line and get the 80% pie. Now, what do people over in the Bowling Riders group, the Mobile Riders group, and I'm not picking on them, because I go over there to their meetings every month, says, oh no, Amazon's terrible, we won't work on Amazon, and we won't do Kindle Unlimited, and we won't do... I got news for you folks. Kindle Unlimited, if you're not familiar with it, if you go on Amazon, you can get free books on Kindle Unlimited. I love Kindle Unlimited. Kindle Unlimited pays the author page reads. So if you get my book on Kindle Unlimited and you read 300 pages, I get paid $2.99 just like you'd bought the book. So stop and think about that. I didn't get a sale, but I got paid page reads. And my page reads some months are higher than what my sales are. Now stop and think about that. I'm making money on selling my book, and I'm making money on people reading my book.
So if somebody clicks out after a couple of pages?
I'm sorry, I'm hard of hearing.
If somebody clicks out after a couple of pages, you still get paid for those pages?
Yes,
Really?
yes.
Cool.
They pay per page read. Now let me say as an author,
Read.
please be kind to me. When you finish reading, stay at page 299. Some people say, oh, I want to go back and look something, and leave it at page 13. So I'll only get paid for 13 pages. So if you read Kindle Unlimited, always leave it at the end of the thing. And I know it sounds very crass and commercial, but stop and think about that. What better measure of how well liked your book is than your book sales? And that's kind of that, hey, look, people are buying my book. It is a really good feeling. And one last thought while I'm putting in there, the other thing that sells books is reviews. And our first book, California Bound, has 45 reviews. My book, The Apprenticeship, has 43 reviews. And our average is like 4.9 on mine, and 4.8 to 4.75 on California Bound. And what that means is we're getting high marks because there aren't typos, there aren't whatever. And a good story helps. But you can have a good story with typos, and your reviews are going to be 2s and 3s.
Okay.
So, yes.
The bookstore in Fairhope, do you ever put your book in there?
We had it in there for a while, but I don't think it's there anymore. I don't try and keep up with that. We're not making retirement kind of money on those books, but we are making a decent return on the effort we put into it. Part of the point I made in bringing up what John and I did was, it was like 4 months from the time John and I got together until we had a book published and actually selling and getting reviews and moving up the charts in Amazon. So my second book that I put out in December of last year, had been sitting for 6 years. And after John showed me what to do, how to get that thing out and get it published, it's out and selling well, and getting its own reviews, and it's moving right along. So that's the message we're trying to deliver here today. Don't stand around and wait. Get your book out there, and the publicity, you can put it together. I had a couple of hands back in the back. In the back, very back.
Go ahead. I don't understand how, if what you were talking about, a Kindle reader coming in and being paid by the page, and they could actually only, you get paid for 13 pages when they read 300, how could that happen? How did,
Not if you buy the book, but if
When you get a Kindle Unlimited book, It's on a borrow, and in fact, you have to give it back like in 60 days or something. They'll take it back from you. So they know, Kindle knows exactly how much you're reading in that book. Don't ask me how, but electronically they can tell where you got in the
Oh, but
book.
what you're saying is if you only read 13 pages, zoom on ahead and pretend
No,
you
no,
read.
no. I'm saying the opposite. If you read,
Saying
if you read
finish
the
it,
300 pages, don't go back to page 13 to
Oh,
read.
because it'll record it there.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Reason.
I'm not saying anything bad about Page and Palette, but this probably goes for every local bookstore. Most of the authors I know have pulled our books out of Page and Palette, and here's what happens. They want a 60-40 split, and you have to provide the books. And they do send you a check, but you don't know what it's for. I have 16 books out. They don't say what the sales are. They don't let you know when they sell out of your book. They don't keep up with inventory. You get a check, and you don't know what it's for or what they've sold out of. And in the 60-40 split, you might make 50 cents on your books.
Yeah.
So,
And also, that is a microcosm of what the major publishing industry
Yeah.
is. So,
If you, like, Bill, he did dogs. And I have a lady in Spanish 4, she's wrote a lot of dog stories too. And if we get together and publish a book, you know, that'll be good bonus.
Well, yeah. What you do is an anthology, put together a bunch of stories in one book as an anthology. But you could do that, if, you know, in fact, I guess the very first book we did was an anthology. Let me, one last thing, and I meant to bring this up under your platform, an email list. This can kind of get tricky at times. There's probably a dozen companies out there, depends on how much money you want to spend. The very cheapest is MailChimp. You can get started in MailChimp. It's MAIL Chimp, CHIMP.com. And they will let you have for up to, I think it's 1,000 people on your email list for free. And you get above 1,000, then they come up with different pay scales. And most, all the other mail, what do you call it? ESP, electronic service providers. Okay. That keep an email list. And what that email list does for you is, first of all, I give away a free book to anybody who joins my email list. I try and send a blog that's part of your platform to people who sign up for my email list. After they sign up, I send them a second book about the prequel to California Bound.
my friend,
So
are you giving away our book?
That's the prequel. The idea is there, you get people to follow along and pay attention to your books. When I got ready to publish, after we'd done California Bound, I got ready to do an independent, when I say independent, my own published book, The Apprenticeship. I held a cover release party on Facebook. I got 60 people to show up at my cover release party. I gave away about $100 in prizes. But I had 40 pre-orders of that book based on my cover release. And that was my first independent book, and I had 40 people pre-ordered that book. And these weren't friends and family. This was off the mailing list. And the day the book came out, we sold over 200 because I had worked my mailing list. That's where your mailing list comes in. I contacted those people by email and said, hey, I've got this book coming out. If you like the other books I had, you'll like this one. Bang, I got a bunch of sales and the book jumped right up in the top in the ratings on Amazon. And it stayed there pretty well because of that. And so keep working all of the things that you see up here on this list, the advertising, your own email list, either do a newsletter or a blog. And if you want some help writing a blog, I mean, for $5, they'll put together some, because I write Westerns, I stay in contact with a lot of Western authors. So I share stories with the other authors. And that's how I come up with stuff for my blog. John?
It's interesting to note, I've written 5 medical textbooks. All right, now, that was my genre before. And now I'm trying to switch over from nonfiction to fiction, reading fiction. Now, I wrote about my stroke. That was my first attempt. And then I went into the self-publishing phase because I couldn't get a medical textbook company to publish it. They were interested. The medical textbook companies would send me a check for $10,000 anytime I wanted to publish anything in the medical realm. It was a closed society. And they still don't like that, all right? But right now, trying to get into the creative fiction genre is what I want to do. I'm getting help right now from John, Suzanne Barnhill, and Roseanne. And I think that we have a lot of good sources there. So don't be afraid to call on these guys. They really are good.
Thank you, Frank.
I remember when you could teach my book.
So Frank, we're going to talk about that book giveaway right after the meeting here. I'm missing my royalty checks. I think I want to wrap it up with just this thought. Sometimes it seems overwhelming. You know, you talk about email lists, you talk about, going to AMS things. There are people within this room that can offer a lot of advice to you. So that's part of the Pensters, is being part of a group of people that know something about publishing, that you can go to and say, hey, I need some help with this. What do you think? So don't be afraid to reach out to people. That's why we have our group, and we have a great turnout today, by the way, for... I guess the rain isn't starting yet. So I would like to just ask if there's any other business that anybody would like to bring up or questions. I can tell everybody's getting ready for lunch. Is there going to be a group of people going over to Andre's afterwards?
Yes.
Okay, so raise your hand and then everybody look at everybody and then you can see who's going to be there. And with, you have another question?
Who do we give our changes in the Pinster's little book?
Mavis.
No,
No?
I'm not in charge.
Oh, I'm sorry, who's in charge of that? John. John, I'm sorry. Yes.
What am I getting?
We're gonna give away your book too, John. Really, Frank's good at that. No, for the directory, John, for the directory. For the directory. Okay, well, for some reason, we're still without a gavel, so I'm going to officially end this meeting with a remote. So, meeting is adjourned. Thank you. Oh, yeah, yes,